My name's Emma. I'm a teacher, a writer, an artist, a cook and a mother. This series is based on my book, Bahari Safari. Bahari Safari means... Bahari Safari means sea journey in Swahili. Swahili is the national language of Kenya, which has been my home since the mid-90s. In the sun, I'm now about to cook you a prawn, bean sprout and avocado salad with a tamarind sorbet. First thing we're going to do is cook the prawns, a little bit of chili and garlic, dress the salad and then assemble the whole thing together with the tamarind sorbet on top. And I'll come back to the sorbet and explain how we've made that. So I'll start by heating my pan, putting a little bit of sunflower oil in, or you could use groundnut oil, or even sesame oil if you like that too. That's okay, because we're only cooking these prawns quickly. I've got some king prawns here, and I'm using 2 per person. I don't think we need much more than that, as this is a starter dish. Obviously, if you want to put more or bigger prawns, do that. So I'm going to chop the garlic quite roughly. Doesn't need to be anything too fine. There's a rough chop on that. 1 or 2 chilies, depending on how spicy you like. Just going to chop those in. We're going to chuck those in the oil with the prawns, and they're just going to take maybe 3 or 4 minutes on each side until we get a little bit of char, a little bit of colour, and then we'll take them off. So we've got the garlic and chilli in the pan to flavour the oil, and then I've just dropped the prawns in. We're going to cook them lightly so they're charred on each side but cooked through to the middle, and then we'll take them off the heat and they can rest for a few minutes while the rest of the salad is assembled. So in my bowl I've got some young salad leaves, some microgreens. You can use whatever you can find, whatever's seasonal, as long as it's fresh and a good mix. Into that I'm going to add my bean sprouts. These are super fresh. You can grow them yourself at home in a little plastic tub with holes in, or probably pick them up quite cheaply at the supermarket. They're not too hard to find. My dressing for this is really, really simple. It's just going to be olive oil and a white wine vinegar and a little bit of salt, a bit of lime juice as well, but we're keeping it super, super light because the tamarind sorbet, as it melts, is also going to create quite a bit of dressing too. So you're going to end up with some quite punchy juice at the bottom of your margarita glass, your cocktail glass. Avocados, find what's ripe. I've got a couple here. We'll see which one's looking good as we cut them open. I'm going to slice down the middle. These are local, these avocados. We're quite fortunate that they grow everywhere in Kenya. That's quite a good looking avocado. Tip to get the stone out, drop your knife in and twist it, and that pulls your stone out quite easily. Just looking at these prawns, going back to them, if you can see them cooking. Can you see how they're starting to curl and colour? Just going to turn those over. So I'll probably give them one more turn in a minute. So now that's good. Let's move that garlic around a little bit. And I'm just going to season those lightly with a little bit of salt now that they're cooking. I didn't put any on before because you can toughen the proteins in seafood by putting salt on too early. So I'm just going to season those lightly now. So back to the salad. I'm going to chop this avocado. It's quite simple. I'm just going to do a crisscross of lines like this, and the other way, and scoop the little cubes out. I should have got myself a spoon ready, but I don't have one, so we'll do it like this. See, that's quite easy. Get all those little cubes out there, okay? So my dressing for this is quite simple. It's olive oil, white wine vinegar, a bit of lime and a bit of salt, because the tamarind sorbet will create juice and that will be part of the dressing as it melts into the salad. So a bit of olive oil here. I'm also bearing in mind that we've got the garlic and chili cooking in the prawns as well. A little bit of vinegar, whatever you like, white wine, cider, doesn't really matter. Splash of that and a good pinch of salt. There we go, and I'll go mix this. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to ask my sous chef to bring the tamarind sorbet out the freezer, if she would. There we go, that's nicely dressed. So very easy, very simple. Just going to pile this into our cocktail glasses. It's a lovely little dish. These are beautiful. These again were sponsored by Prime Cuts. They've been very, very generous. I'm going to put a little squeeze of lime on top, a little bit of salt, and then I'm going to show you the tamarind sorbet. Sorry, and pepper, not salt. So the tamarind sorbet I made from tamarind pods, and these are tamarind pods, and we get them all over Kenya, but particularly at the coast. You crack them open, and you've got the tamarind pulp inside and the seeds. Can you see that? Really good. It's quite sticky and super, super sour. Oh, really sour. So what we do to make tamarind juice is soak these in warm water, about 15 minutes, squelch them with your hand so you get the pulp out, obviously once you've shelled them. And then you can press that and squeeze it through a sieve, or you can put it directly into a pan with more water, boil it up for about 20 minutes, and then you've got tamarind juice. To drink it, you sweeten it with sugar, and then you can add different flavours. You can add ginger, you can add cinnamon, or you can keep it plain. So I make sorbet with it. So once I've made my plain tamarind juice, so tamarind that we've boiled in water with a bit of sugar, and you have to decide the sweetness you like because it is incredibly sour. Now my sorbet is melting a little bit in the sun, but I've churned this in an ice cream maker to get a really sharp, sour, melting tamarind sorbet. So we try to do a scoop of that and put it on top, and it's melting quickly now. There we go. So with this little salad, I've got a great vegan white wine here, again from our friends at Solovino. And this goes super, super well with any light seafood dish. So I've got this really well chilled, organic and vegan. You can see how light and crisp that looks. And that pairs beautifully with the prawns and with the tamarind. It's really good, it's really fruity. Perfect balance for this. Thank you, Solovino.
And have you any idea how you make a wine vegan?
You know what? I don't think you put cows in it, but beyond that, I'm not sure.